Okay, hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. This is the daily morning show that we do at 10:30 Eastern Time every weekday. Today is Thursday, July 13th, and the MLB regular season starts up again tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll be able to maintain my winning ways that I was able to achieve when I closed off the first half with 3 straight winning days. I'll probably be starting off the second half a little bit cautiously and a little bit slowly, but you never know. Maybe I'll see a bunch of plays that I'm liking on Friday tomorrow and have 8 or 10 or 15 picks tomorrow officially. But that will happen tomorrow. Tomorrow, Friday the 14th, is when the MLB season starts up again in the second half, and we have no comments. Tomarino Tomor, what's up?
Congrats!
Yes,
Goji, one of our viewers, 5-1 in summer league play.
Very nice, very nice.
Well
and congratulations to everyone who tailed us in WNBA yesterday. Me and I forgot who. I think it was Robinson Jepez. Yep, there you go. Me and Robinson Jepez agreed on a bunch of plays yesterday, and they cashed. We both loved San Antonio, and I didn't expect an outright win. I just thought that they had some value getting all those points, but they got the outright win. I said I like the under in the early game. That one cashed, and then Robinson Jepez and I both like the over in the Phoenix Atlanta game late, and that one cashed easily. So nice job to everyone in WNBA yesterday. And oh, interesting. Austin Geist says low-hanging fruit. Cork City plus 110. I'll look into that, Austin Geist. I don't follow soccer closely at all, but I certainly know how it all works, and I'm always interested to see someone making a claim like that. I will look into Cork City plus 110 today, claimed to be low-hanging fruit by Austin Geist. All right, let's start with let's just quickly start with the two there's a CFL game and a WNBA game. Tonight, the WNBA game is very interesting. It's Connecticut against LA. Connecticut, of course, is on a back-to-back, which is rare in WNBA, but they are on a back-to-back, and it's a road back-to-back. They were at Seattle last night, and they got a win, and now they travel to LA, and LA is also off of 2 straight losses, which is not particularly, I'm sure doesn't sit well with them. They lost to their big rival Minnesota, and then lost the next game to Seattle. So it feels like a positive spot for LA. And I think I'm leaning towards the under, even though Connecticut, of course, can be a huge scoring offensive team, and so can LA. But I'm leaning towards the under, and I guess I got to be leaning towards LA at least early. Connecticut, of course, has been great ATS this year, but again, this is a down spot for them. I'm probably only going to make one bet on this game, and it probably will be on the under. I'd be tempted to take a shot with LA, maybe first half, maybe second half, and be tempted to take a shot with Connecticut on the team total under, even though Connecticut is such a high-scoring team. In their last 10 games, Connecticut has only scored under 80 points one time, and that one time they scored 79. But that was also the only game they played against LA. LA beat them 87 to 79. So clearly, LA can have an edge over Connecticut, even when they're doing well. And again, LA coming off of 2 straight losses. Connecticut on a road back-to-back, so it looks like a big spot for LA. So I'd be leaning LA at minus about 6.5 or 7, leaning under, which I'm going to be betting. I'm going to be betting the under, and also leaning Connecticut team total under, which would be about 80. And then the CFL game, I did make a small play on the under at 52.5. Now the line is all the way up to 54.5 or 55. So that's obviously a terrible pick. But my main play of the week was Montreal plus 5.5, and that's gone down to 4.5 or 5. So we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, tonight I am already on the under 52.5 small, and that line has moved wildly against me. So I would. So that's.
And we got let's see, CFL video up on our site, on our YouTube as well, from earlier this week from Ian and Andrew. If you want to check that out before the game starts tonight. And also we got a good article or two with some parlays on sbrpicks.com.
Okay, that sounds great. Tomarino Tomor says Connecticut sucks, but LA sometimes plays to the competition level, though. Tough game. Yes, absolutely. This is, and that's why Tomarino Tomor, I'm leaning under here. That's why my only bet on this game is probably going to be to the under 166 or 167, despite the fact that that both Connecticut and LA can be very high-scoring teams. I'm going to be taking a shot with the under on that one, and that's not a forced play. That's a play that when I handicapped, I was liking it. So I'm going to be on that one pretty solid. Let's see. Vitala says, I'm no expert on WNBA, but when you call yourself a professional team and you only scored 10 points in the quarter, I think you need to relook at the word professional. And I think you're right there, Vitalis. I agree. I think they need to relook at the word professional. Just take a second glance at it and look inside themselves and think about what that means. All right. Yeah. Oh, Robinson Jeppa says Connecticut doesn't suck. No, they don't. Far from it. They're awesome. I would label Connecticut this year after their slow start as awesome. Oh yeah, he was responding to Tomarino Tomor. No, Connecticut doesn't suck. It's just not a good spot for them here, and it's a particularly high spot for LA. And even during Connecticut's recent awesome run, they still lost at home to LA. So I think LA matches up well with them. So yeah. So I'm going to be taking the under on that one, and that's the only play that I'm going to be making today. Under 166.5. Okay, and let's see. A lot of comments here. Yeah, congratulations to didn't Robinson Jepes. I think he's the one who won our free trip to Costa Rica that we gave away yesterday. Gave away to the loyal fans who were there on a slow day in the middle of the All Star break. So congratulations to him.
We're doing another one today too, by the way. I'll let you all know before we even start the day, so you guys can get a head start. But if you tweet me or us at SBR Sports Picks, a little short video as to why I should give you a ticket. We're giving away another airfare ticket, so full ticket.
All right, you want to go into that a little bit more, or do you want to?
Sure, yeah. Okay. I mean, essentially, tweet me a video why you deserve an airfare, round trip, and a hotel to our betting conference next month.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm sure everybody that watches already knows the deal about ifbc.com. If you don't, check out ifbc.live. And if you want to come down, let me know why I should pick you.
Sounds great. Austin Geist really pumping this Cork City play. Cork City's last 22 games, they have won 21 and drawn 1. They're playing at home where they're undefeated in the last 11 months. It won't be plus 110 for long. All right, Austin Geist.
What is Cork City?
Cork City? That's Ireland, right?
I don't know.
I think, yeah, it's in Ireland.
What are we talking about now?
We're talking about soccer. Yeah, Cork City and
WNBA.
I'm going to look into that. I'm going to look into that one. Okay.
Adam here likes Toronto +3 in the CFL tonight.
Me too. Nice. Me too. Nice. I also took Toronto small as well, although that's also one that I was, that was it. I just like Toronto on the road. Toronto was my big play last week, which was a casher, and this week my big play again is Montreal at home catching 5.5. Or that's That's my top one. Yeah. So
it's always nice when we can agree.
Yes, for sure. Okay, so let's see. Let's get into one thing that I wanted to do for today's show was look at some MLB prospects who are on the brink of coming up and might make a difference at some point in September or even possibly sooner. There's not a lot that I saw, but there are a few things I'll be keeping an eye on. Here are some things to look out for. First of all, the Mets have two guys who are probably going to come up and may well make a difference. They got a shortstop named Ahmed Rosario and a first baseman named Dominic Smith. That's two guys who might get brought up, and I think they will get brought up and make a difference because the Mets have that kind of team. They're the kind of team that, they have some very nice pieces in their lineup, but they could use a little help here and there, And if Ahmed Rosario at shortstop and Dominic Smith at first base get called up, that could give the Mets a nice boost. So I'll definitely be on the lookout for those two guys, and I'll be on the lookout for the Mets to maybe catch a boost if both those guys come up and if both those guys play well. Then also, Lewis Brinson is an outfielder for the Brewers, and as we know, the Brewers were tied with Houston for the most profitable team in baseball in the first half. They do have a nice lineup with multiple bats that are good. They have a nice balanced lineup that's pretty deep, and if this guy Lewis Brinson comes up, he might add yet another bat to the Brewers lineup that might make them even a little bit more productive later on in this season. So I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for that. And then the other thing I definitely wanted to highlight is a guy named Yoan Moncada, second baseman for the White Sox. He is one of the top prospects in the minor leagues right now. He is almost certainly going to be brought up this year. And, when he comes up, maybe he'll flop, maybe he'll do well. But if he starts to do well, the White Sox might get a nice boost from him, and the White Sox are also a kind of team that might get a nice ROI boost from a minor leaguer coming up, because they do have some nice bats, but they're also, a mid-range team where if they make an improvement, it definitely won't, get caught by the odds makers and by the general betting public very quickly. So if Moncada comes up, he might give a boost to them. And believe it or not, the Astros even have one other guy, another outfielder named Derek Fisher, who's been doing well in the minors. They might bring him up, and he might contribute. And if that happens, he'll be their 12th big bat that they have, or whatever it is. But so yeah, just to note that there is yet another outfielder that's a big bat for the Astros who might come up. But that's basically what I'm looking for. 2 guys from the Mets and 1 guy for the Brewers, 1 guy for the White Sox, and then also the Phillies do have a few guys. They're probably going to get brought up. A catcher named Jorge Alfaro, and then a first baseman named Rhys Hoskins. And Hoskins especially is a first baseman. He's been crushing it in AAA in the International League. And if he gets brought up, he might give the Phillies a nice boost offensively. And if they get a boost offensively, they might make a jump from being absolutely horrifically shitty to a notch or 2 better than that. And if that happens, they might cash a few big underdog tickets in September. So those are the things to think for. Matty Ice, you follow baseball pretty closely, Matty Ice, right?
Yes, I do.
Think about that name, Rhys Hoskins, R-H-Y-S Hoskins, first baseman for the Phillies, and crushing it in AAA.
Rhys Hoskins.
Yeah, and if he comes up, he could add a big bat that could quietly pump
both them and the Mets need some help.
Yeah,
and it's going to take a lot more than a couple first basemen coming up.
For Philly.
Both. We said the Mets have the first base prospect.
That's right. That's right. But we're not looking for these teams to change into winning teams. What we're looking for is to have them get a sort of under the radar bump of ability that the market doesn't adjust for, right? Because what we're looking for is for Philly to cash a bunch of plus 150, plus 180 underdog tickets in September as a result of having a couple of youngsters coming up that that aren't really fully being factored into the line. So yeah, and definitely for the Mets that could happen. That could.
We got a good question here too. We got a second from Edgar Diaz. If we bet Houston and the Dodgers every game left, do you think we end up positive or negative?
That is actually. I was going to say that I don't have any soft leans for ROI predictions that I was going to that I wanted to try to do. But if I had to make one, I think that would be it with the Astros. I do think. I mean, it's as square as they come, square prediction as they come. But my sense is between now and let's say September 1st. If you flat bet the Astros every game on their opening line or their closing line, is there any way you come out negative on that? I just don't see it. I mean, yes, if they suffer like 3 or 4 big injuries, sure. Maybe even if they suffer 1 or 2 and the lines get way inflated, maybe not. But they're so loaded. They also have such a phenomenal bullpen, and they have. I mean, Lance McCullers is a guy who I'm expecting to have a good second half. So yeah, I would say my low hanging fruit soft prediction for second half ROI is that on September 1st, we'll look back between now and September 1st and see that Houston at the very minimum is at least up a few percentage points in ROI. Maybe not double digits, but I would be shocked if they're negative between now and September 1st. What? Yeah. Dodgers are a little bit different because the Dodgers really do have inflated lines. I mean, Houston hasn't been 300 any game this year. I don't think so. There probably were a few games with
because they don't have that super ace lights out pitcher.
Yeah, right. But with the Dodgers, I mean, now the Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw, based on units, has been the most profitable team in baseball. I think the Dodgers have won 17 out of his 19 starts. But you are definitely going to be eating a 350 line every time he's out.
It's like a Kluber game, too.
Yes,
same
exactly
for the most part.
Exactly. And even the other guys, like Alex Wood, you're going to be eating a 230 line. Kenta Maeda, you're going to be eating a 190 line, whatever.
Yeah, which is a hard pill to swallow with those guys sometimes.
Now, the market may make a radical readjustment with Houston, but as I said, in their last series before the All-Star break against Toronto, I was scratching my head about all those lines because I just didn't understand it. And again, I couldn't believe it. The last game on Sunday, it was Peacock against J Happ, and Houston opened as an underdog. And I said to myself, this line makes really no sense to me. I'm like, there's got to be something here I'm not seeing. And I said, no, you know what? No. You know what? There's not something I'm not seeing here. And I pounded them at plus 106, and then I pounded them again on the second half, and they wound up winning 19-1. So,
pretty much what you would expect.
Exactly.
Right?
So I don't know. My sense is that Houston will continue to be undervalued unless the market makes a radical readjustment. Whereas the Dodgers, you're already starting out the second half expecting massive favorite lines for the Dodgers, you know?
Yeah, the market doesn't seem to be too willing to adjust. Even for it's just, like you said, the Dodgers are still massively overinflated, and the Astros are not.
Yeah, I mean the Dodgers were plus 11.5% ROI in the first half, top 5, so they were great for sure, and they were actually the top team at home at plus 20%, and they were actually a slightly negative on the road, whereas Houston was the opposite. But yeah, all right, so I would be more bullish on Houston than the Dodgers for sure as far as likely ROI, let's say between now and September 1st. All right, and let's see. Other things that I wanted to bring up. What the hell else did I want to bring up? Oh,
UFC
I don't know.
This weekend?
I'm sorry?
I got a UFC fight night this week.
Yes, but I haven't. I'm gonna be handicapping that very soon, but I haven't done my deep research yet.
You and Andres Hale have
tomorrow.
Video tomorrow?
Yes, and of course UFC 213 nailed it all different ways. 3 ways. I had 3 picks on UFC. What?
Let him know.
Let him know. I had 3 picks on UFC 213. All 3 of them cashed. One of them was an underdog pick, which was Pettis by decision, plus 170. And then of course my totals in MMA are just great. I called the over in the Romero fight, and I called the Pettis fight going the distance, and both of those cashed. So hopefully I'll have some other winners for fight night as well. And of course, I've started looking at the McGregor. I mean, that's just.
Did you see any of that press conference?
I did watch a lot. I have to admit that I've gotten sucked in by the hype and the mouse. I mean, they're both very compelling figures, right?
I mean, what's his name? McGregor just ripped Mayweather open yesterday.
I know.
Him, he's like, "You're a 40-year-old man wearing a tracksuit. You can't read."
Right.
Like, oh my God. I
mean, my sense is that I'll tell I haven't done any deep research into this, and there may not be any deep research that you can do that will.
Yeah, I don't know about this. It seems unprecedented.
But my sense is, and this is just my looking at the press conference handicapping here, is that I mean, first of all, Mayweather's a massive favorite, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's
I would say he's not as massive favorite as he should be.
Really?
Nah, yeah. I haven't looked at the odds recently, but he was hovering -700, 800.
Yes, that's where he is right now, and McGregor's like 550 or 600. And my sense is that if I had to make a bet right now, I would probably take McGregor for a couple reasons. The first reason is just because, first of all, McGregor started out as a boxer, right? Now, first of all, obviously, Mayweather in his prime against McGregor in his prime.
Too.
What?
He was a teenager.
Yes, definitely. My second, Mayweather is 40 years old, and he's one of these guys who, you hear the saying, who else is 40 years old? Yoel Romero. You see the preview that I did with Andreas Hale and Daniel Gracie? They both liked Romero. They were like, oh, Romero is a beast and this and that and his skills and whatever. And I was like, listen. The dude is 40 years old, and when your success is predicated on lightning quick reflexes, you're going to be a phenomenally awesome fighter to watch until you're like 35, 38, and then when your reflexes drop off, you're not going to be able to get away with what you got away with when you were younger. And then the other reason is that I'm looking at this and I'm just thinking, these guys would love to have a rematch and then a rubber match, right? And I'm like, these guys want to get 3 fights out of this. I don't know if it's actually going to happen, but they would love. You don't think so? No.
I don't think that's the plan at all.
You think this is just one and done? No way. You think?
Yeah. If Mayweather wins this match, he will never box again.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. If McGregor wins, you don't think Mayweather immediately demands a rematch? No.
I don't know. I don't even see that happening. I really don't. I want it to happen. I think that would be awesome. I can't fathom a way that would happen. The only bet, even Zach brought it up to me this morning, he's like, the only thing I would consider betting would be Conor McGregor to win a round. I don't even think I would take that, honestly. I sat and thought about it for a little bit. I don't think so. I mean, did Pacquiao take a round the last time they fought? I don't think. I mean, granted, he was injured, but I mean, he's a better boxer than McGregor would be, especially on points. That mentality of having to squeeze. I don't see it.
I'm just saying, if McGregor wins, the next day, Mayweather demands a rematch. McGregor says yes. And what does that mean for Mayweather? Another 500 million, baby. You know what I mean? And then if Mayweather wins that fight, then you got a rubber match. And what does that mean for Mayweather? Another 500 million, baby. Right? No?
No way.
No? All
right. No way that happens. No way that happens.
Conrado Mendoza says Mayweather already said this was his last fight. Dude,
he said that for the last 4 fights.
Boxers lie more than, well, I'm not going to name a name, but boxers lie more than someone we know. All right. You know who I'm talking about. You know who we're talking about here. Boxers lie more than that guy, all right, when it comes to their career expectations.
Well, even I was watching an interesting short doc about, the issues with fights being thrown in boxing. Boxing at this point is almost a joke. It's been for a while, but you sit and watch some of these, especially the lower card fights and some of those big pay-per-views. It's a complete joke.
Yeah.
And that's why you can't gamble on it either. Because the favorites you can't make any money off, and the underdogs are never going to win.
Well, right, unless you can gamble on it unless you have a good read on where the fix might be.
True.
Yeah.
I don't have those connections. So
yeah. Or if you just the fixes can be a little bit because it's at any rate, yeah.
But once you start handicapping fixes, you're fucked already. You're done.
Here we go. Ace Farmer basically echoing what I said. He says, I'm worried about some sort of fix setting up for a rematch. Either draw or go the distance rematch would be an absolute gold mine for two guys that are all about the money. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm looking at this and I'm saying, what would be the best outcome for them to give them a rematch or a third fight? And I'm thinking whatever that outcome is, once I figure that out, that's probably my prediction for the fight.
Yeah. The only way that they would possibly have another fight is if Mayweather won.
Right.
Or if they have some kind of a draw, right? A draw decision.
Wait, the only way they had another fight is Mayweather one. See, no, I'm thinking.
I'm sorry, McGregor.
Right. See, and here is the only other thing is that Floyd's not going to want to mess up the perfect record. That's the other thing, which is true, which is that.
There's no way he's going to leave himself out there.
Yeah.
The bet I liked is how many significant strikes Mayweather's even going to, McGregor's even going to land.
Sure.
I haven't seen the number, but 10, 15, maybe. I mean, I don't know.
Blake Kersey says Pac-Man won a couple early rounds. Okay,
so I missed that. Sorry.
So there you go. But yeah, all right. And what else? I've also done some. I did my deep Pac-12 research, and I filmed that one yesterday. And that video I believe should be out today. And I have a pretty good feel on the Pac-12. I think you should look into it. I'm definitely going to be thinking about overs with Colorado. Someone asked about Colorado specifically. I'm going to be looking to overs with Colorado. Colorado should have a more dynamic offensive passing game this year, and of course a significantly worse defense. A lot of losses on defense, and Colorado is not quite the team that can weather those kinds of losses well on defense. So I'm looking for overs, at least in the early going with Colorado. And I also think I might be looking to fade Utah in the early going. Obviously, Utah's a great team. You don't really want to be betting against. Coach Whittingham is an awesome team that he's like a poor man's Chris Peterson, or even equal to Chris Peterson. He made a great, he's got, he just gets the most out of those Utah players, and they're a tough team to bet against. But in the early going this upcoming season, they've got a lot of guys out at receiver, and at the same time, or they lost at receiver. At the same time, they're trying to implement an offense that involves more passing, and they also have a bunch of guys. They lose a bunch of guys in the secondary. So both of those things, I think, will combine to make Utah more likely than not to struggle in the early going. Now, of course, a Whittingham coach team, and with that program, they might be a great bet in the middle of the season or later on. We'll see how it turns out, but I'm thinking that Utah might be a good fade in the early going in their first 3, 4, 5, 6 games, and I'm also looking for overs with Colorado, and USC is looking friggin' awesome, and USC might be a team that I'm going to bet on even as a big favorite. Game in and game out, they are looking ridiculous, and I'm also thinking about maybe unders with UCLA. UCLA looks like they have a vicious defense this year. The two deep are great with UCLA, one of the best in the country, possibly with a lot of youngsters, and with Rosen at quarterback, the total should probably be pretty high, but they may be a little bit chintzy on the big play explosiveness that they did have last year with those receivers. And of course, their running game was terrible, and teams are going to be able to beat them with the run, which they might not be able to do. So I'm thinking that UCLA might see some unders in the early going as well. Those are just thoughts off the top of my head about the Pac-12. And my next one I'm covering is Big 12, and that'll be early next week on Monday or Tuesday. All right. Okay. Let's see. Funny Bones 00 says, "Why are we here?" What the hell is he talking about? Is that a question? If you were here talking about sports betting, we're giving a lot of great information, Funny Bones. If that's not your bag, go do something else, dude. All right. Dale 04, this show you're giving your early pick leans for tomorrow. No, my picks for tomorrow will come tomorrow morning. Dale 04, just like that they do every day. Tomorrow morning, I will be on the first day of the second half of MLB. Of course, I finished off the first half with 3 straight winning days, and I'm going to be wearing this outfit, which is basically like the Furies from the Warriors, every single goddamn day until I have a losing day, which could be never. I mean, could be never. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Could be.
The law of averages suggests that I will have a losing day relatively quickly, but it could never happen again, Matty Ice. It could never happen again.
We could figure it out, probably.
Right. And in that case, I will have to wear this.
I would say that the law, it would be by next Wednesday or Thursday.
Well, the law of averages would indicate
we could sit down and figure that out, probably.
Right.
I know we're both nerdy guys. So.
Yes, we could. Yes, we could. Do you know what I'm referring there when I say the law of averages?
Are you putting a weird...
No, it's from Spinal Tap.
Oh,
remember that when
I don't remember that part.
When the drummer's talking about the chances that he dies in light of how all the other 10 drummers dies, and he's like,
I don't remember that part.
Well, he's like the law of averages suggests that I won't die.
I remember that shtick in the movie. That was I think my favorite part of that movie, hands down, was when he got pulled over the airport security and pulled the cucumber wrapped in tinfoil out of his pants. My goddamn, that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Goddamn, they don't make movies like they used to. They really don't. No, they do. There's some funny ass movies. There's some funny ass movies. Yeah. All right, so I guess maybe we can wrap it up. There's not much else to talk about. I'm just sitting here waiting for MLB tomorrow to get. Well, what'd you say?
Low-hanging fruit today. CFL, what is it? Toronto +3.
Well, I wouldn't say there's low-hanging fruit, but Austin Geist, commenter, does tell us that Cork City at +110 is low-hanging fruit. And I have a pretty good read on WNBA this year. I wouldn't necessarily call it low-hanging fruit, but I'm liking it a decent amount. LA and Connecticut under 167. I don't know if I'd call that low-hanging fruit. It's a WNBA total, so anything can happen. But I'm going to be on that, and I kind of like it. The under in the one WNBA game today, and let's see. And I guess that's about it. Let's wrap it up.
Oh shit!
All right. Is there anything else you want to promote here?
No, I just got Charlie Horse on my shoulder. Yeah, guys, of course, if you haven't checked it out already, ifbc.live. We're hosting an international football betting conference next month. Check it out. Sign up. You can register. We still have tickets left. And if you are poor and can't afford airfare, get on at SBR Sports Picks, today's Twitter, and shoot me a video and let me know why I should pick you, and I'll send you down here for free.
Okay, sounds great. Short show today. That's nice. That's great. And I like it when the shows are shorter sometimes. And we'll be back tomorrow in a show that will probably be quite long, the first day of the second half of the MLB season. And I'll have a bunch of picks for tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.